people, and Undertaker saves the day and he gets disqualified for it. Still don't like that 20 years later. But I thought it was awesome to see the Undertaker return. What's funny about that little story behind that? When I was at that time, I was in junior high school, and for months we were waiting on the Undertaker to return. I was like my teacher at the time, and she's like, she watched the pay-per-views. I didn't, except for WrestleMania, because I couldn't afford to buy them. So that like every pay, like the last 2 pay-per-views before that, I think 3 of them maybe. So did he return? No. Did he return? No. Judgment Day, give up to her the next day. It's like, did he return? Yeah, he came back finally. So that was my little. The way she's like, he's on a motorcycle now. What?
When it came to the Undertaker, I don't think I saw this live. I could be wrong. Parts of it I remember, parts of it I don't remember. But I remember the American Badass being a character. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the Undertaker back in the day. Weirdly enough, he lived next door to my mom's friend for the longest time in Tampa. But either way, super sidetracked. The Undertaker, when he was a dead man, I wasn't really behind the character, wasn't familiar with him, so I didn't have that nostalgia like, this isn't the Undertaker. So I think it's partially because of that. I've been more of a fan of the American Badass Biker Undertaker than the other one. But either way, this was a big deal because now you have the Undertaker back. You have the Undertaker trying to clean house against McMahon, and he causes a disqualification for The Rock for, honestly, Triple H to win.
Yeah. If you go back the year prior to that, I remember him when he walked out of WWF. His outfit that he had on was slightly like a biker Undertaker. He was not dressed up as the dead man when he walked out, and that might have been just the way he wanted to do it and whatnot. But when he was off, he was contemplating retirement back then during his time off, and obviously didn't at that time. But yeah, it was interesting when he left the camera. When he left, he was not dressed up as the dead man. He still had a little trait here and there, but he was dressed up as a regular. As you see him as when he debuted or he came back. So that's just an interesting observation.
Yeah. So what did you think overall of this match in general besides the ending?
I gave it an 8.
What kind of drove that to that score up for you? Because again, we didn't like the ending.
To me, besides the ending, I mean, I could have given it a 9 or so if it was a better ending. But I've told you before we went on the air with this thing, is that when you have 2 guys, even 2 girls, I would do. You have 2 guys that would go in there for an hour and put the best match on possible and keep the fans entertained. That says a lot right there. It's not 30 minute Ironman match. It's in 1 hour. I mean, I'm sure 30 minutes is hard enough, but 1 hour, bloodshed, doing all you can to keep the fans entertained. They did a pretty well job, so that's why I kind of give them credit, both of them credit for that.
Yeah, I can see that. Overall, it's kind of weird with this because I kind of feel like a little bit of this team was taken with Undertaker returning, but at the same point, I mean, you have to run Triple H in there, and there's no better time to pull the trigger on returning the Undertaker as a different character and have him basically go against McMahon. So I agree with you on the rating here.
Especially being that it's the Undertaker's pay-per-view too.
Yeah, with the being Undertaker's pay-per-view, from going from being the dead man to the American Badass.
So I wonder why. Maybe that's why they took away Judgment Day since the Undertaker's.
It wouldn't be I mean, I don't think that's a valid enough reason to change it at that point.
Oh, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that might be one of those things that
It could be. It very well could be.
It's obviously there's rebranding your company's show events and everything, the names of it, but I felt like maybe that's one of the things. Like that was Taker's pay-per-view, so I just random thought.
It could be. It very well. But it seems like it's been gone longer than Undertaker's been gone. So
yeah.
I don't know. WWE needs to get rid of the gimmick name pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And it took me forever to not call them WWF and call them WWE. And I just thought of that randomly here. So that was the Judgment Day 2000 and the return of The Undertaker. In a way, he's now the American Badass Undertaker after this pay-per-view going forward for what? 5 years?
Not 5. Pretty much 3.5.
3.5 to 4, I think.
The last time he was the biker version of him, it was Survivor Series of 2003.
It could be. I don't remember. I don't remember clearly enough.
Survivor Series 2003, he faced Vince McMahon in a Buried Alive match. Kane helped assist to that, and then Undertaker came back at WrestleMania 2004, which is WrestleMania 20, to face Kane, and he came back as the Dead Man.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't. I'll be frank. I don't remember clear enough, so
that's fine. No,
I can't counter you on that one. But again, we'll call that a review of Judgment Day 2000. Again, you can find us on Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at WrestlingSCool. And take it over.
On Instagram at Wrestling Still Cool, Facebook Wrestling Still Cool, and you can email us at wrestlingstillcool@gmail.com. Let us know if there's something you want us to review, what you think about the show. Want to say hey, whatnot, just go for it, y'all. And you can also send us a message on DM us on social media.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be back. The next episode would have to do with weekly wrestling shows and weekly update, if you will. The non-SNL version. But that would be it for us this episode. I almost said this week, which is not at all accurate because we record multiple episodes a week. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I am the real X-Pac.